Buenos dias and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Safari Mac in South America, and welcome to today's episode of Macaws Part 2. I am Safari Mac, your guide and host, helping you make connections to the wild. Now today, as always, we're going to finish up with our time with the macaws and then be ready for a little special announcement today. But as always, if you're new to my channel, hit the like and subscribe button so you can check out my other videos, as well as stay tuned for special updates and episode announcements. Check out my Facebook page for interesting animal facts every other day, as well as interesting updates from different conservation projects all over the world. And as always, if you have questions about who I am or my series or about animals in general, feel free to send me an email, which you'll find the address down in the description below. But if we're all ready and set, let's continue with Part 2 of the macaws. Let's return to the skies. Let's talk about the wild things. Now, believe it or not, in addition to their tongue being somewhat dry and scaly, believe it or not, there's actually a bone inside of it. Why is that? Because these birds are constantly digging into different kinds of nuts and different fruits, this is kind of how they scoop out, are able to not only just taste, but they're also to scoop out the flesh of either the nut or the fruit that they're digging into. There are said to be over 19 different species, from the hyacinth macaw, which is the largest subspecies, the famous scarlet macaws in certain beer commercials like Budweiser, blue and gold macaws, which we may know one from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, the one that Mr. Cotton, the man who doesn't have a tongue, uses to speak for him, as well as the smallest species of macaw, the Hans macaw, which actually is only 12 inches long. Now, believe it or not, there's actually a macaw on here that actually you would never find out in the wild. I'll give you a minute to figure out which one you think it is. Could it be the hyacinth? Could it be the harlequin? Could it be the military? Did you guess the Catalina macaw? Believe it or not, Catalina macaws you would never find out in the wild. That is because in human care, they are a cross between the scarlet macaw and the blue and gold macaw. So in a sense, these are really a hybrid species. Now, what else about wild things? As we know, like you can see right here on my shirt, they are well represented in different arts and forms. And of course, there are many different people all over the world that have these creatures as pets. But now, today I need to talk about a little bit of a serious subject about this sort of issue, especially in terms of threats. Well, unfortunately, many of these different species of macaws are unfortunately threatened or close to extinction because of human actions. Not just from the deforestation, which if they lose their home, they have nowhere else to go, but also the pet trade, unfortunately. See, in the past, unfortunately, to meet the demand for pets, and it still somewhat continues today, many of these beautiful animals are captured by poachers and then are smuggled into the United States or in different countries all over the world. And I'm telling you, the smuggling process is barbaric. They will often stuff them into these containers or these cages that are just way too small, and if they don't die from lack of food or water, the stress will ultimately kill them because it's just so much. They have no idea what's going on. And as a result, a few species have actually nearly been pushed to extinction. In fact, today, here's our special announcement. Today, with this particular episode, be sure to join me afterwards for a special conservation conversation where it's not focusing on the negative, but a complete role reversal. What species? Stay tuned at the end of the episode to find out. But now, ladies and gentlemen, there's always hope. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to know where to look. Conservation efforts. Back in 1992, the Wild Bird Conservation Act was was created that helped barred these creatures from being imported or exported to different countries to ensure that the wild populations were not further affected by the trade. Another way to help these creatures stay alive and to continue to thrive in their natural habitat, say no to buying these creatures from the pet store. Now, I only want to say this. If you still want to do a pet parrot, then that's fine. But here's what I would like to suggest for all of you at home. See, just like different dogs and different cats have different special requirements, these animals do require specialized care. But if you can accomplish that by giving them the proper care that they require, so like, you know, annual visits to the vet or their doctor, or giving them the right food, water, and just making sure that their environment is comfortable enough, then you can do that. Because let's remember something. These birds are really special animals. I mean, these birds can even outlive us if it was to happen. These birds can live up to 75. Some have thought to live up to be 100 years old, though I'm a little skeptical about that idea. But in the end, these birds do tend to outlive us, and it's not like you could just pass on to the next generation. I mean, if that bird loved the person that they loved, it's kind of really love at first sight. They're not going to ever love again. So you really must be ready for a full lifetime commitment to these animals. How else can you get these animals if not from the pet store? Look for special parrot rescues. They help these animals all the time, and they even ensure that you are able to meet all the requirements before you can even adopt these animals. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, with any kind of pet, always do your research, do your homework. Be sure you research your choice carefully, because in addition to dogs and cats, every kind of pet, I want to see them in a forever loving home. So with that said, if we can do that and just ensure that these birds are still around for the next 100 years or for the next generations to come, then you can be their hero too. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you'll join me for our special conservation conversation on a very special macaw, the Spix macaw. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you, do we want to now leave South America, or do we want to stick around for one more animal, which would be the maned wolf? Please let me know down in the comment section below, or let me know on my Facebook page. Ladies and gentlemen, your support for my series still continues, and today I celebrate 6 months since my first premiere. So thank you all for joining me on this incredible journey. Well, until next week, I hope to hear from all you for your choice. Till then, this is Safari Mac, and I'll see you all out there. Adios!